What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? Let me get Devin here today. How are y'all doing? Oh, wait a minute. It ain't an intro. It ain't an intro till we get the intro music on. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your boy Steve. I'm joined by my the dynamic downtown first down, almost threw a touchdown, put it on the ground. Downtown.
That's what's going on. I like
De'Ami Brown. Whatever Dev's doing over there. Having a hoedown, looking like a clown. De'Ami Brown. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Command This. Time for our Thursday stream, our pregame stream for our game coming up, the divisional game coming up against the Detroit Lions Saturday night at 8:00, not Sunday like last week. Saturday night. And to do that, just like with the Bucs game, we're bringing on a little bit of enemy intel, bringing on some great guys coming over from the Lions content creator world. I'd like to welcome, let me get this right,
the show today,
Jacob and Jason. Cheers from the Talking Grit podcast, gentlemen. Give you a round of applause here. Welcome. Thanks for joining us on the show today, fellas.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks for taking time out of your day to join us. And if you guys don't know, Dev does all the music for this show. So any sound that sounds anything like music, it is all done in-house by our guy Dev. So just throwing out a little plug out there. His Spotify's down in the description of the video, or will be at the end. So and make sure you guys check out Talking Grit podcast. We'll post their socials and their links and stuff in the description after the show. But Jason, Jacob, welcome again. And Dev just disappears on us, man.
I'm right here.
All right.
He wants to be in between Jacob and I. Oh no,
yeah.
We're going.
Before we get down to the formalities,
Like an Oreo.
Jason, how are you feeling about today's game, man?
The Saturday's game. I am getting really excited about it. It's been 2 weeks for us to play. We didn't play last week, so we're ready to play this game. I did when we did our preview podcast or our bye week podcast last week, I did rank the Commanders as the third. I wanted to face the Vikings or the Packers before I faced the Commanders. So I think it's going to be a good game, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
That's good stuff. Jacob, how about you, man? How you feeling? What's your vibe around this game so far?
Oh man, I can't wait. We in my life never had a time where we had the bye week and we could just watch Wildcard weekend without any sort of stress or anything. Usually when we were watching without stress, it's because we're already eliminated and we're not in there. So it was nice, one seed locked up, just waiting, watching the games, not knowing who we're going to play. And, Jason had the Commanders ranked low, but I actually wanted you guys to win. I wanted to play you guys. I think it's going to be a really good game, and, bring it on.
Yeah, that's good stuff. And as we continue the pleasantries, and Jacob, we'll start with you now, man. What's your fan story? We always, regardless of where you come from, team you root for, we always are interested in the dynamic of how people became fans of the teams that they love to follow. So Jacob, tell us how you became a fan of the Detroit Lions.
Really, I'm in the Michigan area. Sunday, you want to watch football, you turn on Fox, the Lions are on TV. From the time I was really little to where I just, finally started getting into it. It wasn't very consistent, wasn't very good football, but you know what? I bleed Honolulu blue now. It's in my heart, and ride or die, right?
That's fair. So, it's funny. I excuse my ignorance. I only learned after going to your guys' X profile, and I just put two and two together and did some Google research that the blue is called Honolulu blue. And
I was going to ask about that. That's pretty.
I feel so stupid. That's
pretty crazy.
Wow, pretty awesome. Yeah, did you know that, Dev? I didn't know that either.
No, I just said blue. Powder blue.
Oh, okay.
Powder blue.
Just said blue.
It's the owner loved the color. I mean, the original owner, 1934, loved the color of the water in Hawaii, and so they call it Honolulu blue. Yeah.
Oh.
Trivia of the day.
That's a great origin story as well.
Is it RoboCop silver going with it, or
yeah?
OCP.
You love RoboCop, Dev. That's all I heard from you yesterday. Now we're starting it out today.
At 209.
I love RoboCop.
Jason, how about you, man? Tell us your fan story. How did you get?
Right when I started getting to the age where I could understand the rules of football and get into it, Barry Sanders was drafted by the Lions. And, at that young age, I didn't really fully appreciate what the Lions had at that time. I mean, I did, I grew up becoming an adult and Barry's still on the team. So I did grow to appreciate that. But at the beginning, I didn't really know what that meant. So it was always ups and downs with the Lions, but having Barry Sanders, you knew during that time period that something exciting was going to happen, something you've never seen before was going to happen. And yeah, I've been hooked ever since. And, if you're a fan of the Detroit Lions, then you're a diehard fan because you've been through a lot of downs and we're finally getting to some ups.
Yeah. Two franchises where, granted, we've had more success in history than you have, but happy to see franchises turn themselves around like that. I mean, one day, I'm not going to say knock on wood because I don't really care, but even the Browns might have some success one day. But the Lions, I remember back to Barry Sanders' day and Wayne, was it Wayne Fonts?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Coaching days and the Herman Moores and the Barry Sanders, and it's just saying Barry didn't play longer because he was arguably, to me, one of the best, if not the best running back in the game. So excuse me for that. Let's say hi to a couple people in the chat. Tia said, I almost went to bed. Hey, fellas in chat. Well, Tia, I thank you for sticking around to hang out with us because we're going to get some good
Yeah, what gives with that? Why would you going to bed for it?
Stay with us, Tia. Stay with us. Deluxe. Let's fucking go. 1-0. They went 1-0. That's right. Every one of the things Dan Quinn says every week is 1-0. I think a lot of coaches say that.
Good luck in Miss And in the house.
No, they love saying that. Marcus Eden, founder of SportsView 2 on Facebook. Make sure you guys go check out Marcus doing the thing. Commander Nash, Jay Nash, super fan Jay Nash. It's going to be a great game. Much respect to Lions fans. Go Commander. That's right. Much respect to the Lions fans, and those tickets are still. I think they've come down just slightly.
A little bit,
400.
Yeah.
Maybe they can't sell them. I'm not sure.
I might be able to pay my mortgage and go.
Yeah, we got a couple friends.
They're not cheap.
Hey, if we go to the Super Bowl, bro, I'm selling blood, semen, kids, peak pictures. I'm gonna do whatever I can to get there, dog.
Check out Facebook Marketplace for Dev, what he's got up for sale.
That's right. I got rusty toes. Pictures.
Save that money and come to DC for the parade. Do that. And the Nationals and Capitals won their chip, and the parade was
I got hundreds of dollars, though. I can maybe do both. You know what I'm saying? I got at least dozens of dollars at any time. In my,
It'll get you far. Tia says she's tired. She actually forgot. Well, Tia, thank you for staying up with us. Stay up as long as you can. We're going to talk some Lions here with these gentlemen and get your questions ready. You guys know how we do it. So, let me get this comment out the way. Jason, let's start with you on this one. So let's recap the 2024 season. Take us to where the 2023 season ended, which I know was a very sensitive moment for the Lions, as it should be. And then roll us through the off season with the free agency bucket, the draft, and then take us through this season generically. Give us your version of that story. Then Jacob will come to you for the same thing. So go ahead and start us off, Jason.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, we got started off. We ended with the NFC Championship game being up by 17, and basically blowing that game. I know a lot of things got blown out of proportion about Dan Campbell going for it on fourth and costing them. I was down with all those calls. They were really drop passes away from completing those and moving on. And frankly, I'm of the belief if you're going to do that all season, why change then? Because if he didn't do it and we didn't win, then people will be like, why'd you change? Why'd you do that? So, that was kind of a downer. But then within that week, Ben Johnson, our offensive coordinator, I know it's a sensitive subject for you guys, but decided to stay with us. So it was like we had this immediate downer, but then it got lifted right back up right that same week because Ben Johnson's come back. We felt pretty confident that, our offense is going to be able to, do what it's doing this year, which is, the number one offense in the league.
Yeah.
Off season, we had our big things of this off season was re-signing our players, keeping, we got Penei Sewell with a sign, Amon-Ra, Jared Goff, we gave away a lot of money for those guys, but really we signed them early, and then the other people at the same position got paid, and then all of a sudden our contracts look fine. So I really like them paying ahead of time. It's the very opposite of your division rival, the Cowboys, who just seem to wait till the last second and piss off all their players, which it's a Jerry Jones move, I guess. And I just don't understand it. It's like telling your coach you can't interview with someone, and then 4 days later telling them you're not going to resign them, and then
makes no sense. Makes no sense. That's the dumbest thing.
I know. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. So, we traded for Carlton Davis, which he, up until he broke his jaw in the Buffalo game, was having an awesome season. Exactly what we needed at the corner position, because last year we really struggled at both corner positions, frankly. So we got that. We drafted, and then the draft, we got Terrion Arnold. We traded up to get him. He's started out pretty slow, I would say, in the season. Pretty handsy, a lot of pass interference calls. But since then, he has gotten much better. And he hasn't got his first interception yet, but I think it's coming. My videos went out, so I apologize for that. I don't know what's going on, but it's probably for anyone's benefit, so they don't see me anyway.
Yeah,
so,
right. I was going to make a camera joke, but I decided not. The Dev spray.
Yeah, well, I'll just finish. The off season was just a lot of we didn't accomplish anything last year. We are on a mission, and it was, I was really happy that, that Dan Campbell wasn't just going to say, just rest on his laurels and say, well, we exceeded expectations last year, and, we're just going to, do whatever. But they had a really good training camp. Started out the season against the Rams. So we had Matt Stafford, our old quarterback, coming to town. We had just beat him in the playoffs. Week 1, Sunday Night Football, we start out going to overtime. That was a game where David Montgomery just took it over in overtime, and we steamrolled them. And then we played the Buccaneers, a team you guys just faced and beat, and they beat us. Really, we couldn't score in the red zone in that game, and that was they're a tough team. You guys know, I mean, they got a tough defense, and they had figured us out. Then we went on a long stretch of just winning games. A lot of games ended up being blowouts. We had a couple games where we got our backup quarterback in, which in the NFL hardly ever happens. And then we got all the way up to Buffalo, and we lost that game 48-42. It was a very fun game to watch for anyone that just liked high offense, because it was just scoring. And then, but what really hurt in that game was we lost 4 of our starters in that game. And we had injuries before that. I mean, losing Hutch in week 6, that, Jacob could probably talk about that, because that really deeply affected him for a while. So, and then, really the story of the season for the Lions was, we go 15-2, but we don't clinch until the very last week of the year. We
unheard of.
Yeah. That was the Vikings. We could not get a break. The only break that we ever felt was when you guys beat the Eagles. What week was that? Week 15? 16, somewhere in there. You guys beat the Eagles, and so we kind of needed that so the Eagles didn't have a shot at the number 1 seed, and it knocked them off, but the Vikings just wouldn't lose. I told my son this, and anyone that would listen, that if we couldn't beat the Vikings, then what are we worried about in the playoffs? Because you got to beat those good teams, right? And that's just the way. I'd rather the mantra that Dan Campbell had all season and really leading up into that game is, we love these games, we cherish these games. This is what we want, and it's worked out. So now we're. I glossed over a lot of stuff for the years just for being concise, but it went all the way up. Our season went to week 18, and we got the much needed and much deserved bye week.
Nice. That's good stuff. Say hi to a couple of chat here. Tim Calloway, what's up? Indian Lake says, as an old Redskins fan, I've always rooted for the Lions. I loved Billy Sims. Chris Spielman, happy for Lions fans, but this week I'm all in for my Commanders. There you go. Marcus says there's an article about Ben Johnson turned the Commanders down because he wanted Sam Howell and Adam Peters wanted Jaden Daniels. So we talked about this on the Talking Grit show yesterday. That came from Lake Lewis, whose sources he was told. Don't know if it's true or not. Very interesting if it is. Jay said Detroit did a great job hosting the draft, had a blast, and Jay Dale is excited to go back because in his eyes, this Ford Field is where it's all started.
Is the draft in Nashville this year?
Green Bay.
2025. It's Wisconsin.
Green Bay.
Yeah. Jacob, how about you, man? Give us a rundown of your take up from the end of last season up to this point.
Obviously, devastating end of last year. When we went into the NFC Championship game, it's kind of similar to how you guys are right now, which is like, you know what, we've already accomplished a lot, and we're just going out there trying to prove that we belong, seeing what we have. But in the NFC Championship game, we had the lead and we looked like the better team, and we just let it slip away. So really hard to relive that one over and over again. The Netflix receiver show following Amon-Ra St. Brown, I had to watch it in detail again every time it comes on. So hard end of the season, but then we quickly get Ben Johnson back. We know that we have Aaron Glenn coming back. It just seems like everybody's back. We're getting even better, and we're ready to try to, take it even further and try to make it to the Super Bowl. They made an emphasis on the cornerback, the defensive back play. It really was, hurting us towards the end of last season. We addressed that in free agency. Jason already mentioned, Carlton Davis, we had the trade, but then we got Amik Robertson in free agency, and he's actually been playing very well. And, we made some smart decisions with the offensive line. We let Jonah Jackson sign a huge contract with LA, and then we got Zeitler from the Ravens, who, has been playing really well. So the offensive line is still, one of the top units. The story of the season, despite, the injuries, is that we've been able to pull out. We've been able to find ways to win. And, for a lot of it, a lot of the games were comfortable. It wasn't like close. I know you guys had how many, like 5 in a row where it was like the very last play, the nail biters, the stress and everything. We've been used to that. But, there were a lot of games where it was relaxing towards the end. It just, seemed like we were the better team.
Right.
But yeah, the injuries have just been killer. When Hutchinson went down, that was in the Cowboys game. And last year when we played the Cowboys is when we had that whole Taylor Decker reported. He caught that 2-point to win the game, and then, they throw the flags. He didn't report as eligible. There's that whole controversy. It was in prime time, and then we end up losing to the Cowboys. So that was one we wanted to come back and make up for. I'm sure you guys enjoyed us watching, beating the Cowboys like that. But everything was going right until Hutch went down. And then, that's in the middle of the game. We're still up by 30 points. And then, I'm sweating already about the prospects for the season. We had signed Marcus Davenport, edge defender, and he was already hurt. It was like, man, what are we going to do? And the injuries really only got worse. We've just been piling up the most players on injured reserve. You look at the 49ers, though, they've got so many on injured reserve, and they're out of the playoffs. And then, this Lions team with our coaching staff and everything, we've been able to take players. We signed Jamal Adams off the practice squad. We got a couple guys off the street. Hey, find your cleats. You're coming in on Sunday. You're playing snaps here. And, we've been able to make it work.
Yeah, very true. And that's talent too. That's a testament to resiliency, good coaching, and just all around having a good program. Which I think we talked about this yesterday on your show. The Lions, they're a high standard program, and I think many people are trying to, like Jason said yesterday, not exactly replicate, but that's the model you kind of want to shoot for. Put the right people in place and let those people make football decisions. And not get bogged down with the Jerry Jones of the world, like the former Dan Snyders, or like when we did it, we had a new owner. The new owner hired the GM. The GM hired the coach. The head coach hired his coordinator. Where previously Dan Snyder, he would hire a head coach and then not a GM, or hire a head coach before the GM, or have a GM and then he would hire the coach and then he would hire the coordinator. It's like, what are you doing? So it's good to see both our organizations in line. Speaking of, you talked about injuries and Aiden Hutchinson going down, which is crazy to have what pick was he in the draft?
2.
Second overall pick for your team. Should have been one.
Mm-hmm.
To come from the same hometown, air quotes, played in Michigan, get drafted by the Lions. That's insane. That rarely does that happen. It happened with Chase Young in Washington because he's a DeMatha product.
With LeBron James too.
It happened with LeBron,
right?
But it's not. It's kind of rare. And I'm glad to see it worked out for you guys. It obviously didn't work out for us, but Aiden Hutchinson's a dog. I love Aiden Hutchinson, man. I think he's going to do very well. But let's talk about injuries. So you guys mentioned injuries. I'm going to pull up the injury report for today, and we will just take a look at the Lions just to start. And I want to ask you guys: is there any of these injuries that in particularly worry you? So for the audio crowd, Pat O'Connor calf, he's out. Guard Kevin Zeitler hamstring out. Denise Rakestraw, cornerback, he's questionable. And then you had Tyrion Arnold, Taylor Decker, and Dave Montgomery full. Any of these injuries, I'll start with you, Jacob, give you a concern for your team?
Not really. I mean, the main one would be Kevin Zeitler just on the offensive line, but we have a rookie, Christian Mahogany, who, he got one start this year and he played his ass off. I mean, just really balled out, looked really good. So, especially when you've got the offensive linemen that are going to be around him, I think that the rookie is going to be able to withstand. That's really the only Pat O'Connor, decent player, but he's also somebody that is getting meaningful reps just because of the injuries that we've already had on the defensive line. And then Ennis Rakestraw has really not been, he just hasn't been healthy all year. He hasn't been getting a whole lot of snaps.
Okay, that's good. What about you, Jason? Any concerns with the way you guys sit coming into Friday?
I think mine's a flip. Let's talk on the positive side. Dave Montgomery's coming back for us.
My goodness, man.
Getting him removed off. He's a full practice. He's ready to go. I mean, he seems locked in his media appearance. I'm excited to get him back. Jacob's right. Zeitler being out, it stinks when you have a starting offensive lineman out. That stinks. But that Zeitler plays in between Penei Sewell and Frank Ragnow, both all-pro type players, and so you have, it's not like the Mahogany will fit right in, I feel. So
yeah,
yes, I'd rather have Zeitler back in a perfect world, but the Lions have a great piece to put right back in there. Mahogany, like Jacob said, played really well against the Bears in his one lone start.
Yep.
And I have confidence that he'll do his job.
Fair enough. James Jones, what's up, man? I think this is our first time interacting with you. Appreciate you popping in to say hi. What's going on? So going back to the comment we talked about our GMs and our organization, Marcus says that's why Adam Peters hired former GM. So Lance Newmark spent almost 30 years with the Lions.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. And clearly there was something special about that guy because he's our assistant general manager. He's getting interviews to be the Jets general manager. So there was something with that, plucking him away from the Lions organization so that means Lance Newmark survived multiple regime changes. And to me, I tell this to people all the time, when you're a coach or a front office person and you survive regime change, that means you're special because that rarely happens. I don't know if you guys have any references or stories about Lance Newmark, but he's only been here for a second year with Adam Peters, and we're loving this so far. But scrolling up to the Commanders, Dev, I'll go to you right now. Jordan McGee is the only one who's technically templated to be out. Mikhail Walker, Colson Yankoff, who we called up, he's our fourth string tight end, questionable. By the way, Colson Yankoff, I don't know if you guys know this, he is a fourth string tight end, but he's the best quarterback to ever come out of the state of Idaho. He came into college as a 4-star wide quarterback recruit, and he turned to a tight end before he left. Funny story with that. James Jones is Lance's best friend. That's why he went to Detroit. He's surprised Chicago didn't holler at Lance to give him a shot. Big help. Yeah, living in the NFC North, man. Dev, any of these injuries concern you? It looks like Bates is limited, Crowder's limited, Farrell's limited, Luvu is limited, Sinnett's limited, Wagner's limited but practicing. Marshawn Lattimore is full. What do you think about these injuries, Dev? You're muted, Bo. Muted.
Sorry. I'm not really concerned with the injuries at all. I think that they're saying, Wagner's been sitting out all the practices, but I mean, he's probably adapted that defense even since the Legion of Boom era when he played for Quinn. He probably knows that defense like the inside of his hand, So I don't feel any kind of I don't feel any kind of sense of urgency in the injury. I just don't want any new injuries to pop up. So if you're nursing anything, these coaches know if these guys know the playbook, they know if they're prepared or not. So just get your body ready. Because they're gonna test you. So get ready.
Yep, that's true. And the big one I was looking at was Marshawn Lattimore. I mean, what we saw with him and Mike Evans last week, he just didn't look healthy. And I'm curious to see what KJ Osborne does this week because he's done nothing since he's been here. But good to see we're relatively healthy. You guys are relatively healthy. Injuries won't be an excuse today or Saturday. You guys could use the Hutchinson excuse, but I think you guys have been doing pretty good without Aiden Hutchinson. Still racked off, all those wins this season. But that's it for the injury report. Let's go back to where we were here. Moving right along. Let's talking about matchups to watch for. Before we do that, I do want to take a look at one thing. You mentioned David Montgomery coming back, and what I want everyone to know, what we're talking about here, why David Montgomery is such a monster and a compliment to Jahmyr Gibbs. I want you to look at this running back tandem. And I'm going to probably look this up after this show. Because this reminds me of when we had the dual hat of Ernest Biner and Ricky Irvins, and we won the Super Bowl 91. Guys were just monsters. But Jahmyr Gibbs, 1,400 yards rushing, 500 yards receiving, 16 total touchdowns running, 4 receiving. Jahmyr Gibbs has 2,000 yard total purpose yards and 20 touchdowns by himself. And then you throw in David Montgomery with 775 yards, 12 touchdowns, and another 300 in the air. How are you supposed to stop that? Do you think these two guys, Jacob, having Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, I heard on the radio today from Brian Baldinger that, Commanders fans should kind of be happy Montgomery's back because we're going to see a little bit less of Jahmyr Gibbs because he's so nasty. He was mentioning that David Montgomery usually, and I think you guys said it too, he starts the game. He gets the first series and they rotate. Will we see, do you think we'll see, how much David Montgomery do you actually think we'll see, given the injury that he had, which was, what was his injury? A knee.
MCL strain.
Yeah. And then to where we are coming hot in the playoff game. So Jacob, let's start with you, man. Let's talk about this dynamic duo of running backs. And what do you think David Montgomery's impact is going to be Saturday?
Yeah, with the type of player that David Montgomery is, I mean, even if he's not full strength, he's going to say he's full strength and he's going to play every snap that he can. He tried to do that in the game that he got injured. It's just such a dangerous duo. They don't usually switch by play. They usually switch by drive. And, by the time the second half rolls around, we've kind of figured out, okay, this is what's working better. There's games where, Demo might have 14 touches. Jahmyr Gibbs has 15. There's games where Ja has like 18 touches and Demo has like 8. They vary back and forth. It kind of just depends on what, we're given what the defense is. We're taking what the defense is giving us. Jahmyr Gibbs, obviously the big play threat, but David Montgomery can do that too. He's used in the goal line situations more than Gibbs is. I think that's the one spot where it's going to be helpful to have Demo back. Sometimes with Gibbs, it takes 2 or 3 tries. But, we'll go 4 if it takes 4. Yeah. But, yeah, just definitely. But then you have towards the end of the game, especially with the team, like the Commanders' defense, the run defense on paper, the stats haven't been so great. When you're facing Jahmyr Gibbs in the fourth quarter and he's only had 10 or 12 touches at that point and he's still basically fresh, that's where it's dangerous, and that's where he breaks these runs off.
Yeah, good problem to have. What say you, Jason, about these?
Well, Dave Montgomery is our nice 4-minute drive guy at the end of the game where you need to run some clock off, and the first guy's not going to tackle Dave Montgomery. He's very adept at breaking tackles. Jahmyr Gibbs will make people flat out miss, whereas Dave Montgomery will just run through you and turn a 3-yard run into a 7-yard run. And as the game goes on, typically it's even longer because, like Jacob said, you're using them half time, so no one's a bell cow, so they both have fresh legs. And I am very curious, and we're all curious as Lions fans, is Dave Montgomery going to start the game? My opinion is probably yes. But last year in the playoffs, they really leaned on Gibbs more, and I still expect them to lean on Gibbs more than Montgomery. That's my expectation. Yeah. Plus, Montgomery's coming off the injury, but they will use Montgomery in key situations.
Fair. Phil Bullock, what's going on? Checking in from the old upstate New York. How you doing, man? Marcus said David Montgomery was a beast in Chicago. He's the hammer of the group. I've had David Montgomery on so many fantasy teams over the last few years, man. He's been fantastic. I think this was his first big injury he's had in a long time, if I remember correctly.
Chicago stay fucking up.
Yeah. Always. Yes.
They can't get right. They can't on the movie Life with Eddie Murphy. That's
right.
Chicago Bears.
The wrong kid died. Little Dewey Cox there. Jack Attack. What's up, Jack Attack? What's up, guys? Thanks for joining, Jack. We appreciate you. All right, guys. With that being said, I do want to. So we looked at your running backs there. Taking a look at your receiving core. A little bit higher look at yards. You got Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams, Sam Laporta, who's a monster in his own right. And then Jahmyr Gibbs, your fourth leading wide receiver in yards. So receivers are looking nice, guys. You got some pretty good receiving core. You got options. It's a good problem to have. That being said, let's talk about matchups to watch for, whether it's on the offensive side of the house, whether it's on the defensive side of the house. Let's talk about what intrigues you the most about Saturday's game. It can be a line matchup. It can be a unit matchup, one-on-one matchup. Jason, let's start with you, man. What matchups are you looking for come Saturday night?
How are we going to stop Jane Daniels from running? And that's what it comes down to me in this game. I have full faith in the Lions offense, and this is no dig on. I fully respect the Commanders. Like I said, I was not looking forward to him, and it's all because of Jaden Daniels. Yeah. He is the wild card. He has shown the utmost composure throughout the whole year. The moment has not got too big for him. We saw the opposite when the Lions played Minnesota. The moment got way too big for Sam Darnold. It just the Lions broke him, and then the Rams just if we dug the hole of 6 that was 6 feet deep, the Rams shoved him down in that hole.
31-9.
And they lost, Sam Darnold lost millions of dollars in those last 2 weeks. Millions of dollars. So it's Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels has not. I mean, this is going to be the loudest environment he's ever been in. Yep. I know that he went to college in LSU. There's probably some loud environments down in the SEC. This is going to be a different ball game for him. But I want to know the question that Jacob and I had in the podcast after you guys took off and Jacob and I do our keys to victory was, can we rattle this kid? Can we do it? Because if we can, then it's going to be a much easier game. If we can't, ball game's on, man. It's going to be fun. So to me, that's the matchup to watch. Our linebackers, our edge players going to, keep gap integrity and make Jaden Daniels throw it. Because I know he could throw it. We know he can do it. Yeah. But let's just, eliminate one weapon. Right. I'd like to eliminate the legs. So
fair.
Not in a dirty way. Sorry, I didn't mean not in a dirty way.
That one Bucs player, I forget his name, and almost took him out. He was falling, but then his helmet ended up hitting his knee. And Jaden's very flexible, so he looked like any other quarterback. I feel like that would have tore your.
What in the P Diddy part is going on here, man? I got one guy saying he want to eliminate his legs. The other person saying he's flexible.
He bounced right back up.
Welcome to the freak off.
He looked like Rocky last week, Jaden, with that cut on his face. Yeah. They were like putting him in the corner with that boxing stuff that stopped the bleeding, man.
I just see him take that hit and look like a rag doll on the sideline.
He got
like this dude takes some arcade type hits, like some
truck stick
NFL blitz type hits out here, man.
That was in college too.
Guys have like RG3 flashbacks, like when that hit happened.
Not the hit. He's taking plenty of hits. It's that when that guy fell on his knee, but luckily he fell.
Last week where he bent back. Last week of the year.
That one was rough. These linemen are, I don't know if it's intentional or not, but they're falling on his knees. It's happened multiple times. I don't want to say it, and I'm surprised it wasn't a penalty because he threw a touchdown on the play to De'Ami Brown when he got his leg taken out. I mean, it literally right from the side. The guy had no business going that low, but whatever. Say hi to Todd Samuel. He's our number one Jaden Daniels fan. Todd has been on Jaden Daniels the second the season ended. Todd was all in on Jaden Daniels. He's down in Louisiana. Todd, the Jaden Daniels number one.
Oh yeah, he's nice. Yeah. He's like a Jaden Daniels stan.
Yeah. So you talk about Jaden Daniels being your key to the game. Do you think the the Lions will put a spy on him. And I only ask this because looking at your schedule, the only, I'd say, mobile quarterback you face two. You face Kyler Murray and you faced Josh Allen. The rest of the people on your schedule I wouldn't classify as mobile per se.
I think Anthony Richardson is definitely mobile.
Right, of course. Yeah, sorry about that.
Because he came back.
If he was playing, because
that's all he can do.
Played a few games a year because he couldn't stay healthy. But will the Lions try to spy him, you think, with a single, like your job is to spy Jaden Daniels and nothing else?
Yeah.
Not going to happen.
Yeah, I remember
Aaron Glenn basically talked down to the media. It was in the, I think it might have been the Cardinals game. Someone asked, hey, are you going to have a spy on Kyler Murray? And he's like, no. He's like, it doesn't work. You got a player out there just standing staring at the quarterback. No, it's kind of take the responsibilities away. So
one less man in coverage, I'll tell you.
Will they do it every once in a while?
Sure.
Yeah, they might, but it will not be a standard of practice.
When the Bucs did it last week, they had 2 guys on him, and that was 2 linebackers you took out of the play in coverage, and it left the middle of the field wide open because all he did was roll the pocket one way, and it completely opened up the middle of the field. So
it was like playing Madden out there on defense.
Yeah. Jacob, what about you, man? What matchups are you looking forward to on Sunday?
Yeah, it's also in your passing game, but I want to see how, our safeties, Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph, they're, really good, but Jaden Daniels is probably going to be dancing around the pocket. He's going to be trying to buy time. I'm interested to see, how well they're able to keep that coverage and, are we going to be able to stop him? Is he going to be throwing the ball or is he just going to be taking off and running? There's definitely a scenario where Jaden Daniels runs for 120 yards in this game. We had that problem with Justin Fields last year on the Bears. We played pretty solid, pass defense, and he just decided to take the run. Didn't make for very good games, but it kept the Bears in it. And that's what I'm interested in, is to see how the safety play is and how we adapt to that. We definitely don't spy. We do have times where the linebacker that's playing in man, if he's on the running back, if the running back stays in and blocks too long, he's going after the quarterback. We can't, we don't like to let him back there dancing around for too long. So he's definitely, it's inevitable. He's going to be breaking off runs. That's just who he is, and that's what we're going to give him. But we just have to stop him enough times that our offense can outscore.
That's fair.
By the way, Washington runs for more yards a game than Detroit does. No one ever really talks about that, right? They're just, Detroit runs. They're going to run the shit out of the ball. Like, we get more yards per game running than they do.
It's also because it's your quarterback.
I don't give a shit where it comes from. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, yards are yards. I don't care where it comes from. But
as long as it's great, but to me, that's not sustainable. You do want your running back.
It's 100% sustainable. He's got 700 or 800 yards going.
For a season,
he's like 110 pounds. How many times can he get smoked like that?
Right. As long as he do it for 2 more weeks, I'm cool.
Yes. Even the Ravens realized we got to get a real running back for compliment more. And look at them now with Derrick Henry just tearing ass. 700 yards running. He did. Right. He did. Yeah. I would take Jaden getting 700 if it meant another running back could get 1,400.
Yeah.
Sure. But Dev, I got some breaking news here, man. It's not really breaking news. It's breaking news for my dumbass. Did you know the safety from the Lions, Kirby Joseph? This dude has 9 interceptions. Dev, 9 interceptions.
Whenever he said Branch and Jones, I was like, I don't even know who the fuck that guy is.
I knew Brian Branch was good.
Now.
I knew Kirby Joseph was good. I never looked at his stat. 9 pickles, dude. 9 and 1 for a touchdown. 1 pick.
That's like me in one game. We get you in Madden.
He's
first team All Pro, Dev. What do you mean you don't know who he is?
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
He didn't make the Pro Bowl, but he made.
We got a couple guys like that too.
Yeah. Amon-Ra St. Brown was first team All Pro, and Frank Ragnall, your center, was second team All Pro.
Hey, Amon-Ra made first team.
Yes, he did.
Oh, I thought it was Jefferson and Chase, or Chase and
they had three wide receivers at first.
Okay. I thought it was 2.
Yeah, but I just want to throw that out. Kirby Joseph, 9 interceptions, man. That's got to be NFL leading, right?
Yeah,
it led
has
the
to
NFL.
be. Thought so.
What's the guy down Green Bay have?
He had 8. McKinney had 8.
He had like
they
8.
They were tied for a while. There was some jawing between divisional rivals. There was some jawing, but
he had 8 like in 6 weeks though.
Yeah, he had a bunch.
Green Bay guy got out like the first half of the year.
Marcus says the Detroit O-line versus Washington Commanders defense line, they have to be gap sound on them because them on the run and pressure Jared Goff. Todd said 21 personnel would be the killer formation for the Commanders. I think he meant 12 personnel. He said, "Can Detroit linebackers tackle Jaden?" That's why I asked about mobile quarterbacks. How did they fare? How did those quarterbacks fare against the Lions defense? The air quotes mobile guys. That's why I was asking that question. Deb, what about you, man? What matchups you looking for come Sunday?
The matchups I'm looking for is I don't know how to describe this in matchups, but I'll save it for later. I'm looking for us to establish, ball control. So I'm looking for our offensive line versus their pass rush. I know Cinderella Smith. He's a decent to above. He's good. He's solid or to better than solid pass rush guy. But I don't think that pass rushing is necessarily Detroit's thing, right? You guys send linebackers and safeties.
Yeah, we blitz. Yeah. We're at one of the highest blitz rates since Aiden's went down. We didn't have to when Aiden was on the field. We could go 4 and get pressure. Since Aiden's went down, Aaron Glenn is 1 or 2. It flip flops because Minnesota blitzes a lot too.
It's funny. We're right behind. We are right behind you from blitzing percentage. I'm looking.
Really? I feel like we never blitz.
Hold on, the stat is skewed. I'll keep looking. Go ahead, Dev.
But that's what I'm looking at to see just how you guys get a pass rush against us. I stand pretty solid in saying I think Detroit is like a world-class offense. It's going to be very hard. But at the end of the day, they only average 6 more points than us a game. I think the disparity between our defenses. I think our defense is better than y'all's defense. As far you guys got some personnel that's dope, like your safeties are dope, but for the most part, you guys don't really. What are y'all? What is the Lions defense rank? I can tell you. Hold on, I got it right here.
I'm
going to say the numbers are going to be definitely skewed after we lost Alex Anzalone. But
seventh overall for points allowed, and 20th in yards, passing you're 30th in yards, rushing you are the 5th best.
Right. That's we don't fucking run anyways. Who cares? But you know what I'm saying? When we do this with the quarterback, like he said,
you just said you ran.
With the quarterback. Yeah, I was going to say next. I don't care if it's a quarterback. I'm gonna take it. But we don't care about running backs, But we'll see. I think that I think that because your defense isn't as good as your offense, you know what I'm saying? I think it's going to lend us chances to score. I think we'll score. I just think the winner of this game will be who turns the ball over the least. And historically for this season, Washington doesn't turn the ball over at almost what do you have before he had that stupid ass game where he had 3 turnovers, 4 or something the whole year or something to the one game. We don't have a lot of turnovers. We're first in the league in least turnovers, right?
You took in general, our
offense also, but you don't generate very many turnovers.
We don't generate turnovers either. Yeah,
your turnover differential is +1.
There you go.
The Lions is +9. So, I mean, we don't turn over the ball either. It's going to be tough. Let me just talk a little bit about what you said, Dev. So the Lions, when they blitz, I don't think they're blitzing to sack Jaden Daniels. It's a blitz to for cover the gaps and keep him in the pocket and not let him get around. It's going to be our edge players just need to keep the edge, and that's what they need to do.
Lions number 2 blitzing defense in the NFL. There you go. It's right there. We are the number 5.
Yeah, I found that hard. I would have never guessed that we were 5.
Never. We rush 4. They just sit there and give the quarterback all day long. I am shocked.
Yeah, but when we do send Louisville and Wagner and those guys, we do kind of get there. We do a decent job at it, but we never do it.
I'm shocked. There it is.
I want you guys to blitz.
I know from my reviews of golf is that one of the best QBs in the league with a clean pocket. That's a guy you don't want to have a clean pocket. You know what I'm saying? That if anyone in the league, golf is a guy you do not want to have a clean pocket. I think it gets when he has his problems, it's because you blitz him up the middle. You put the pressure up the middle in his face. That seems to be the issue when golf historically. I'm hoping that's what we do. I'm hoping we send Wagner up the gut at him a few times, or even Louisville on some stunts up the middle to kind of build some pressure.
Jacob, what did I say that Goff has done better this year? That the the part of his game that he's grown the most? What do I always say?
His pocket presence.
Yeah.
His mobility.
It's been totally different this year.
Mobility.
I wouldn't even say mobility. It's the matter of just slight movements to like the Tom Brady thing.
Just sliding left, sliding right. Yeah.
You move over just one step and create a lane. He hasn't done it in the last few weeks, but he was running for a first down a game. And that's Jared Goff. It's the slowest man. I mean, you and I could probably run faster than him. It's funny to watch, but it's awesome at the same time.
Yeah.
You got a guard out too, right?
Historically, Goff, you rush him out the middle, and he's throwing it in the dirt or making a mistake with the ball. So you're exactly right on pass, but he's made a big improvement this year, I feel.
Yeah.
You guys got a guard out too, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah,
is he a starting guard?
Yeah. It's your boy. He's playing San Fran.
Zeitler.
Yeah.
It's tough. Marcus says, if Washington keep it close or lead in the fourth quarter, I trust Jaden Daniels. We have no reason not to. Our last 7 wins have been at the hands of Jaden Daniels in the last drive of the game. Jet James, what's up, Jet? Said Commander's going to win like last week. Tampa was a harder game. This one will be easier than last week. I don't share that sentiment, Jet.
I kind of agree, and it's not because of the talent. I just feel like offensively, anybody in the league offensively, we can score with them. Scoring isn't going to be the problem. And I feel like defensively, the last 5 games we played, their defenses have all been better than the Lions. Defensively, definitely not offensively.
Name a single team we've played this year that is a dynamic on offense as the Lions.
No. I'm not knocking the offense, man. The Philly, but I'm not knocking the offense and the Ravens. But I'm talking about defensively. The Cowboys are better defensively. You know what I'm saying? The Eagles were better defensively. Tampa was better defensively. All them motherfuckers lost. They all lost, dog. So, that's what I'm trying to say. I don't think that people are thinking that through. They're just like, oh, man, they're going to score 50 fucking points. We might score 50 points too, bro. That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say. If you think they can score 40, why can't you score 41? We've scored 40 a bunch of times this year too. We've played our quarterback the second half of games too, bro. It's the same thing I told you yesterday on their podcast, that we have 12 wins, 2 Pro Bowlers, 4 All-Pros, and 11 Pro Bowl nominees or backup whatever's in there. 12 wins, a playoff win away with a rookie, and people still think, oh, man, we're just happy to be here. Oh, shucks. Nigga, we just as good as them.
No way, dude.
Hey, come on, man. You're number 3 in the NFL in offense. You're in the middle of the league in defense, bro. You have 11 Pro Bowl reserves. You have 4 All-Pros, 2 Pro Bowls. And if you said it for anybody else in the league, you don't say they're not good. That's crazy.
I didn't say not good. I don't think we're good.
What is not good? You're in the second round of the playoffs, dog. It's not. You don't get here by accident. You don't win 12 games and have 4 All-Pros by accident, bro.
You don't win 15 games and have 4 All-Pros by accident.
Nobody's saying the Lions are terrible, though. They're not saying y'all are lucky.
Dev, you got me fired up now. What's your record against playoff teams this year?
How many have we played?
I think we've only played 1.
No, we played the Ravens.
No, we played the
Ravens, Philly twice.
No, we've only won 1. We're 1-5, I think.
Yes.
Like, 1-4. We played the Ravens.
You're 2-4 if you consider last week because you won the playoff game.
Yeah.
So
but you don't think we could have beat Minnesota, bro? The way they've been playing? They've been playing garbage for 3 weeks. And when Darnold lost to y'all, Darnold lost the game.
They won more games than you. They won more games than you, Dev.
Darnold lost the game by throwing inaccurate. He didn't lose because you beat him. He was just trash. He's trash.
You don't think the Lions defense affected that? Sam Darnold just all of a sudden I can't throw the ball.
100%.
You know, the Lions defense just didn't do anything. I'm telling you, we got Alex back. Our defense is transformed. Jacob, back me up. I'm not going to be the only one.
You saw him last week. You saw him last week.
You're arguing what? No. I mean, if you look at the stats, we had a top defense. Hutchinson goes down, and we really didn't lose a step. We were crushing teams. I mean, the Titans game, we beat them 52-14. The Titans had like 450 yards of offense or something. Like, that's counting against us because we were scoring the ball every minute. You know, they consistently just had the ball. Then Alex Anzalone, he's our green dot. You know, he means a lot to the team. He goes down. Then we start having these close games against the Packers, the Bills, even the 49ers when we played the 49ers. And then we get Anzalone back and we play the Vikings and then we smoke them again.
Yeah.
I just think the defense that you're going to see right now is better than the defense that was in the middle of the season, and that, you know, most of those stats and stuff you're getting are probably from.
I get what you're saying. You can do it to anybody, any team, though. Like, every team is better than the first half of the year or at points of the year. We're not the same team that got beat by the Tampa Bay. We're not the same. We should have beat the, you know, if you really want to think about it, we should have beat the Eagles. We should have beat the Cowboys. We should have beat the Steelers. You know, at those games, we lost them games. We should have won. Cowboys ran 2 kickoff returns in the last 2 minutes. And then our running back from 3 times, we missed 3 extra points or 2 field goals and extra point. You know, we haven't done any of that all year. You know what I'm saying?
We can also say that you should have lost if Devontae Smith would have caught that pass over the middle. We could play that game all day.
We shouldn't have caught the Hail Mary. You could do it either way. That's what I'm
right.
trying to say. You can do that for any team, though.
You can. Oh,
right. So when you say, you know, you guys have lost to this team and we lost to them, that doesn't mean anything. I don't think of you any less because we beat Tampa and y'all didn't. You know what I'm saying? I don't think y'all are worse than Tampa. I think y'all are better than Tampa. I think y'all are better than us. Y'all should win the game. My problem is people out here saying you have no shot. Oh, we're lucky to be here. That's insane, bro. You got 12 wins and a bunch of Pro Bowlers and all pros. Every team that has that stuff wins games.
I mean, the Cowboys had like 10 Pro Bowlers too. So, like,
yeah, the Cowboys beat us too. Cowboys beat us and Cowboys were injured. They would have won 2 or 3 more games with that, probably.
Tim shares your sentiment. Said we probably can't stop Detroit, but we're going to score a lot in this game.
Right.
Even Jay Gruden said he likes our matchup versus Detroit better than other teams. I think it's going to be a shootout. It's probably going to be an offensive shootout.
Who's more accident prone with the ball, Goff or Daniels this year? Because all we can go by is this year.
Goff has 12 interceptions. Right,
that's what I'm saying.
Usually pretty safe. Jaden will just he won't throw the ball.
Historically, you rush one the middle, he turns it over. I know Jason said he's gotten better. You know what I'm saying? He watched the team and I don't. Yeah. But I'm saying, historically, that's what happens. All it's going to take is one mistake, bro. That's all it takes. We've gone games. We've gone like 4 or 5, 6 weeks. We ain't punted once. But people still doubt the offense. Makes no sense. You don't think we can score 40 points? We've done it just as much as them. It's crazy.
You guys can. You know who's going to be the most overpaid people in this game? The punters, because they're probably not going to be playing that.
Yeah. Tress Williams probably played 5 games. It felt like
Tress did not punt at all last week.
Yeah, he ain't punted in 2 weeks.
Yeah, he did it a couple weeks. He's hadn't punted a couple times, which is crazy. Just in general for regardless of what team it is, crazy for
it's the most times it's happened in NFL where you had a rookie quarterback and your offense had to punt it.
I think that those stats are going to keep happening though, because more and more teams are going for it on 4th down.
Oh,
and that's really where that comes down to, because the Lions, you know, just like you guys, we go for it a lot, and so. You know, if you're in midfield, the numbers say you should go for it. And I'd rather just put it on, you know, faith in your offense and get the job done. And
keep the ball in your best player's hands, man.
Especially when you can it's kind of being a field flip anyways. In certain situations where you would punt it and be the same place, you could just, you know.
Bro, we should have kicked those field goals last game.
I agree. We should have kicked those field goals,
man. That's wild, bro.
But look what happened. You go for it on 4th and
wouldn't have had to though that last time. Wouldn't have had to have that.
Baker fumbles it and you're in the red zone again. So I guess, you know, it's destiny. Thomas Millen says on that note, I've seen Detroit going all the way almost all year. If we compete with them, we have something crazy. If we happen to win against Detroit, we will go all the way. He also goes on and said the winner of this game will go all the way and win the Super Bowl.
I think Eagles. I still think that my pick beginning of the year is Eagles Ravens. Though I think that's probably going to happen.
Jalen Hurts is half a hit away from losing his brain, dude. No way.
They pass better without him. What's he going to do? What's he going to do when he play a run throw for 115 yards, bro? Nobody cares about Jaden, man. Like, you know, his legs will kill you. Yeah. Like I said, they got crazy receivers. You got a classic quarterback back there. They probably are going to be really good.
Yeah. My matchups to watch is I already said it. It's not the passing game. It's the running game. It's Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. We've never faced anyone like that this year. I thought Bucky Irving and Rachaad White was going to be that way, but they did not run the ball. Tampa Bay just says, well, you know what? We're going to run really good for the first half. They got like 120 yards the first half, and they just stopped. They stopped running the ball. Had they continued to run, I guaranteed Tampa would have won that game easily. We cannot stop shit in the run game. Our run defense is bad. So as long as Detroit runs the ball, they should have a much easier time than trying to pass the ball. But I will say, we talked about this on your show yesterday. Second half of games, the Commanders will give up, first half they'll give up 150 yards on the ground. The second half they'll give up 15, 20. They just figure it out. I don't know how they do it. They just make really good adjustments. But I'm worried about the run of that dual-headed monster. That's just me personally. Okay, we talked about a bunch of different stuff, right? Jacob, let's start with you. Lions win if.
Yeah, I think you just said it. I mean, if we're successful in the run game, if we're holding on to the ball, we're controlling the time of possession, we're keeping it out of your offense's hands, that's going to be the key to success. Getting in on those play action, Goff is very dangerous with the play action also, and that's because teams have to be worried about Gibbs and Montgomery. So if we have success early on, we like to score early and often and try to set the tone, and that's the recipe for success. And I think that we're going to win if we're able to do that in the first half.
Fair enough. James Boyle says Washington 89% on fourth down. It would be higher had we were 0 for 2 initially on against the Bucs. Be right. What's up? Be right. Hail to the Commanders. That's right.
I think we looked it up on their podcast yesterday, where it was a 51.6% scoring possibility with the Lions are number 1 and Washington was number 2 at 50 point something. So like they score basically over half the time they have the ball. You know what I'm saying? They're going to at least put something on the board. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not within the realm of things you can score with the Lions. And that's what I'm just trying to give you to understand. I think it potentially could be a high scoring offense, or we're probably in for, because I bet that on parlays, we're probably in for a 10-7 game. That's just the way the Lord works.
Listen, Vegas is right 9 times out of 10. They're saying 50, 55 points. So that's a moderately high scoring game for the NFL.
Our luck, Lions will score 48 of that,
Yeah. Jason, what about you, man? Lions win if.
Lions win if we score touchdowns in the red zone and we stop. We hold the Commander. We win the red zone battle. Essentially, that means we score touchdowns. We hold you guys to field goals. That's what it's going to come down to. If you guys hold us to field goals and score touchdowns, it's going to be tough. And so I think the Lions just have to convert to touchdowns in the red zone. So
looking at the Lions
red zone battle, we're good.
Red zone percentage for the Lions right now is 69%. You're giving up 50.9. You're scoring 69.4%, which is third best in the NFL. For the Commanders, when it comes to red zones, hold on one second. I just want to compare the two while we have it up. The Commanders are scoring 63.4. So you guys are 69.4. We're 63.4. We are 6th best red zone offense. You are the 3rd best red zone offense. So it's right there when it comes to red zone.
I'm assuming the Ravens are probably number 1, right?
I would, or the Bills, or
I'm assuming it's
Ravens or Bills. Probably Ravens for sure. Marcus says Lions win if they blow out Washington in the first half. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to recover.
A good start, right?
After San Fran, we're not comfortable until it's over.
Yeah, exactly.
James Boyles, anybody, anytime, anywhere. That's been one of Dan Quinn's.
You guys are the only people that lose to Kyle Shanahan in the second half. That dude chokes like Joy Taylor.
And then he goes on. I mean, I think everyone wanted the Lions to go forward last year. That was the game people wanted because Kyle, look what he did in the Super Bowl. Just choked it away.
No.
So. Okay, Dev, let's go on this. Commanders win if. Let's start with you, man. Commanders win if, Dev.
I think that we turn over less times than the Lions.
Turnover. So you're saying so? Okay.
Yeah, I think it's all going to come down to that.
Yeah,
someone's going to make a mistake.
For me, it's time of possession. We talked about this previously. So I thought our time of possession was really good. I'm going to flash this stat up on the board here. The Lions' time of possession is even better than ours, which is crazy. I thought our time of possession has been off the charts. So Philadelphia is clearly leading the NFL. Detroit's second in the NFL with average time of possession, 32 minutes and 6 seconds. Commanders are down there at 8 with 30-45. In the grand scheme of things, we're talking 2 minutes. We're talking 2 minutes. But then the whole scheme from rank 1 all the way down to 32 is 8 minutes. So, but even to 15th place is 2 minutes. But
what's that stuff what's that last 3 games?
I think it's last 3 games. The possession has been X. We had 35-26 against the Bucs. Detroit had 36-12 in their last game of the season versus the Vikings.
Vikings.
Vikings. So, Yeah. I mean, look at our last year, we were averaging 29-32. So last year, the Detroit was 31 away. So I think it's going to be about time possession. That's how we've won so many games this year, is time possession. And then the last, the drive, last game of the season, Terry McLaurin's on the sideline. There's 5.5 minutes left. He's like, because he was mic'd up, he's like, they're not getting the ball back, right? He said that, and sure enough, they went 5.5 minutes, held the clock in, and it ended up taking it all the way. So, to me, it's time possession. Dev says it's turnover battle. You guys say it's red zone percentage, and I don't know. I think it's gonna be a good one. A couple comments in the chat here. B writes says Washington is a second half team. Ryan says, hard to talk shit to Lion fans. They've had it rough almost as long as us. Yes, Ryan, I know you're jumping in late. This is exactly what Jason and Jacob talked about at the beginning of the show.
Oh, yeah.
That's it. Fuck the Lions.
I'm definitely rooting for the Lions if they beat us, bro. Like for the rest of the way.
We need at least one INT. We don't get a lot of INTs. Mikey Sammer still has 2. Like we just don't get interceptions. We've dropped a ton, but we don't get them. And their guy Kirby Joseph has 9. So it should be interesting. You guys in the Bucs. I had a soft spot for Sam Darnold, but I really want, if we lose, you guys got to go all the way, man. You got.
He turned back into Sam Darnold. He turned back into that pumpkin.
I'm just saying, you guys got to go take it to the Eagles. You got to just, let's get through Saturday and we'll talk about that next. But all right, over unders real quick, guys. While we have some time, I do want to talk about what potential over unders we could look at if the sports books have updated their over-unders. Hey guys, do us a favor. If you're watching this on YouTube, please hit that like button. There's about 30 people watching on YouTube. We only have 12 likes. Hit that thumbs up for us, man. We would greatly appreciate it. Of course, you're going to log me out of here. While we're waiting for this, guys, what we normally do here on our show, we go through a couple props, like passing props, rushing props, and we'll see if we can pick any of the guys where you guys think your head's at. So let's go for, they have them up, passing props. They have Jared Goff. That's just first quarter. Passing yards, excuse me. Jared Goff. Let's start with you, Jason. 270.5. Man, 270.5 for Jared Goff. I think he's going to
I know he can easily go over, but I'm going to say the under because I'm going to say we're going to lean on the run game and hopefully control it that way. But I'm going to say under.
Okay. What about you, Jacob? 270.5 for Goff.
I would agree. Same reason. I think that we're going to be utilizing the run first, which, we'll see in the first half if that's working or not. They also could switch that up.
Yep.
There's also times where, we have success in the run game and Goff still does that. But if I'm betting on this one, I'm saying under.
Under. Real quick, just for I keep forgetting you guys have Hendon Hooker. Dev loved Hendon Hooker coming out of Tennessee. He wanted us to draft Hendon Hooker somehow.
I did. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah. Goff's last 4 games, I'm just gonna rattle this off as the season closed down: 494, 336, 303, and 231. So they're spotting him 270.5. He puts up mad yardage. And that number is just Vegas is smart. That number is just enough to make you think about it. Given his last 5 games, it's like, man, 270. Okay, you guys are going to Deb. What do you think? Jared Goff, 270.5 over or under?
I'm going under.
You're going under? Okay. Yeah, I am too. For the same reasons you guys said, only because it helps me stick with my theme of the run game is going to be the key to the game. So I'm going to go under. Dev, you're saying under as well? All right.
Yeah, for the same reason too.
Brandon Hallam, what's up, Brandon? Said the AFC South has more wins this postseason than the NFC North and AFC West combined. AFC South. Who are we looking at in the AFC South? We're talking Houston? Houston? Who else made it from the AFC South?
Nobody.
Right? AFC.
No.
Yeah, who AFC South is just
so I'm going to point out the obvious that the NFC North had the number 1 seed team and the AFC West had the number 1 seeded team. So neither one of those have played yet in this playoff. So I'm
confused.
That's because you're talking about the Bills or no, Kansas City.
Yeah, I'm confused on the whole AFC South thing. What are you talking about? AFC South. The Colts didn't make it. Who else made it from the AFC South?
I think he's just saying Houston's got more wins than those divisions combined because Packers. Packers and Vikings both lost, and the Broncos was the other team that played.
Chargers.
and Chargers. They both, they
I got you. I got you.
Nobody believed in
but
any
I'm
of
going to
those.
also say that,
There
they
you go.
also have the number 1 seed in both of those, and those teams have played.
Some of those teams couldn't play, and the Chiefs didn't play either. So it's
Yeah.
perks of the job, I guess.
Mhm.
Texans won. Yeah, I don't know about Texans, man. I think they're going to be okay, but okay, let's go to Jaden Daniels. 235.5. 235.5 for Jaden Daniels, and like I said, just for reference, his last couple games he had. We'll even include the playoff game. 226, 258, 227. I'm not going to count Dallas because he only played a couple series, 38 and 268. So they're giving him 235.5. Damn you, Vegas. That's like right on the cusp there. Mm-hmm. So Jaden Daniels, 235.5. Jason, what about you?
I'm going to say over, because this is going to be, for them to win, they got to keep up with the Lions offense. And I'm going to say they're going to have to pass more. So I'm going to say over.
Jacob?
I agree with that. They have to, they're going to have to be able to move the ball. They're going to have to keep up with the offense, but I don't think they're going to do it through the air. I'm going to say under.
Under, okay. I'm going to say over.
What was the total?
235.5. I'm saying over because our run game has been very anemic outside of Jaden Daniels last 5 games. So 235.5, Dev. Passing yards.
I'm going to go under.
Under? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I think Eckler's going to run on y'all, man. I feel it.
Hey, we got a Lions fan in the house. Don Bird, Detroit versus
There we go, Don.
Hey.
There you go.
Yeah, Don.
Honolulu.
Brandon Hallam says, new coach, quarterback at 2, sign Noah Brown to a 1-year deal. No, sign De'Ami Brown, not Noah Brown, to a 1-year deal. Guaranteed offensive rookie of the year, playoff win every time.
Hey, y'all ain't think about this, but if we were to go to the Super Bowl, we would technically be taking the Browns to the Super Bowl.
Noah and De'Ami.
Yeah, the Browns are going to
taking
the Super Bowl,
Browns
bro.
to the Super Bowl. You know what, Dev? I'm going to give you the man. Where's that?
We need to get that step trending. Let's get the Browns. Take the Browns to the Super Bowl, man. Yeah, do it.
All right. Rushing yards. Let's go. This is interesting. So Jahmyr Gibbs, 80.5. Up.
Over.
Definitely over.
Okay.
Yep.
What is it?
80.5. I'm going to go.
Total yards or just rushing?
Rushing yards.
I'm going to go under that.
You're going to go under?
I think Montgomery will get some carries, and I think they'll do some like screen things to people.
Okay. With that being said, Montgomery now, 45.5.
Under.
That's just enough to make it. I would not put money on either of these because this is crazy.
I wonder. I mean, unless he just breaks one for 20. Like I don't know if you want to. How many times they're going to run a guy on his first game back from patella tendon tear?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, 5.5.
I see 5. Yeah, I see 5 to 8 carries.
Was it a tear? Was it a strain? Was it?
It's the what we heard is a strain.
Yeah,
but
you never know those names.
But a strain is technically a tear, right? Oh, you're a pharmacist. What the fuck I'm telling you for?
All right, 45.5, guys. What are we thinking?
I would not put money on this.
No way. No way.
And man, you hold a gun to my head. I'm saying under, but I see a situation where he goes over. But what do you think, Jacob?
It's just too unknown. I mean, if this had been earlier on in the season, I would have said over, but definitely because of the injury and because of how Gibbs has played, if I had to bet, I'm going to say under.
Okay, I'm going under too for the reasons you guys said. We just don't know, and I think it's safer to say under. James says, "Got to think De'Ami back too. He's been one of JD5's targets, favorite targets when he's in."
Who do you think's going to have more targets, Brown or Patrick?
From the Lions?
Yeah.
Oh, De'Ami Brown or Tim Patrick?
Yeah.
I'd say De'Ami Brown. I mean, he's
your
third
targets. He'll probably get 3 or 3 at most.
Is he wide receiver 3? Is he or where does he hover?
Really, Khalif Raymond's our wide receiver 3. Tim Patrick's our big body, third down guy. You're going to hit it. But I think, what's he get? 4 targets a game, Jacob?
Yeah.
I would say probably averaging a little bit less than that.
Yeah, 3 or 4 targets.
What's De'Ami's probably our 2 or 3 now. I don't know if him or Zayday is.
Definitely increasing. Tim Patrick was good. He was in, he splashed out in Bronco territory, had a great breakout. And I think he got injured And then no one gave him a chance, and the Lions picked him up, and it seems like he's been a pretty decent asset. Hasn't
plays with a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah. All right, rushing yards for the Commanders. They don't even have Jaden Daniels in there. I think it must be too hard to predict that. They didn't even put – no, I'm sorry. Jaden Daniels, 55.5.
I'm going over.
Over.
55.5. Yeah. Are we all going over?
Last game, though, he didn't give it like 40, right? 30, 35?
Last game?
Yeah, like 35
last game, 5 games for Jaden Daniels rushing.
It's like 60,
66. This is starting in December. 66, 81, 127, 27, 36. So it's like
right. I was gonna say he had like 30 something yards.
Stupid number.
He had 130 something yards rushing
against Atlanta. He had 127.
Damn, man.
Yeah,
I'd go over on it.
Yeah, I think we're all going over. We'll all take the over on that one. Okay, and finally, Brian Robinson, 35.5. The guy you should never put in a player parlay because he will always give you 3 yards less than what you need.
If you said the over-under was 10, I was going to go under, bro.
35.5 for Brian Robinson. Devin and I are going under. That's just the bottom line.
I'll go under too.
Okay.
This will be the game we don't bet on them, man.
Watch. Get 100. Let's go receiving yards here very quickly, then we'll wrap up the over-unders. They got Amon-Ra St. Brown. 75.5.
See, I'm scared of this one because he's not one of those guys that you have to worry about just busting like a crazy long bomb on you, but he is one of those guys who can catch a 5-yard pass and turn it into 25 yards about 3 to 5 times a game. You know what I'm saying?
Here's his last 5: 43, 193, 70, 60, 77. So that number of 75.5 is
I'm going under. I'm going under that.
You're gonna go.
I think they might put your boy on him.
Sanders still?
Nah,
I'd
rather
put a rookie on St. Brown. Sign me up.
I would rather put Sanders still on him.
Sign me up.
I think Sanders still has to go on Williams is faster, but I'm gonna go with
You're gonna go
over. I'm going under.
Under? Okay.
Lattimore.
What about you, Jacob? 75.5.
I'll go under. I mean, he's always good for some clutch situations. There's games where he's only got, 2, 3, 4 catches for 50, 60 yards. So I think it's probably going to be one of those games. He's going to show up when it counts, but if we're relying on the run, then he's not going to get that much yardage.
Yeah. What about you, Jason? 75.5.
I'm going to go. Oh man.
It's right there. It's right there.
No, I'm going over on it. Over. I have faith in my guy in the playoff time.
Yeah, I'm going over. I'm going over too. I'm curious. We don't have to go over on these, but they're giving Jameson Williams 55.5 and Sam Laporta 50.5.
Here's the thing about Williams though, all of his passes are like 20 yards deep. So he just has to do it 1 or 2 times.
Right.
Yeah, that's he's the home run.
Yeah. But Amon-Ra St. Brown isn't like that. You know what I'm saying? He's more of a possession guy.
For the Commanders, we'll only do one. We'll do Terry McLaurin. They're giving him 70.5. 70.5. Jason, let's go with you for Terry McLaurin, 70.5.
I'm really curious of what we're going to do defensively with Terry. Because Amik shadowed Justin Jefferson the last game, and Justin Jefferson only got 50-some yards.
Yeah.
I'm going to go over on Terry. Because I think Terry, I have faith that he's gonna. I like Terry McLaurin.
Here's his last 5. Last 5 was 73, 60, 5 yards against Atlanta, 62, 89.
Yeah, I'm still going over.
Okay, over. Jacob,
this 5 yards against Atlanta. This is the game where you guys also ran for 220 yards or something, right?
Yes, we ran for
So they just abandoned the pass.
That's correct.
No. Everybody else caught balls.
They isolated him
like 3 touchdowns.
Very well. Like he just wasn't even a factor. He only had 1 target or 7 targets, 1 reception. He was blanketed the whole game.
I'm gonna go over. I think he's going to need to – they're going to have to feed him the ball. They're going to have to find some way to get it in his hands. So they're definitely going to be giving him some targets this game.
Yeah. Jack attacked his Gibson Daniels about to go off on Saturday. All right, Dev. Terry McLaurin.
Yeah.
70.5.
I think he goes over because he always throws it up 1 or 2 up deep. I think he gets 1. He's got the most catches while defensed. Like he catches more balls in traffic than Joy Taylor. No.
I forgot. There you go.
Balls.
There we go. We forgot the balls.
I keep
Joy Taylor.
but anyways, man. but he does catch a lot of balls in traffic.
Yeah.
So I think he gets one pretty decent sized chunk, and the rest of the time he possessions. So I'm gonna give him over.
Okay. I'm going to go over too. All right. Let's very quickly, let's talk about predictions here. You don't have to give a score prediction if you don't want to, but those in the chat, make sure if you want to throw a score prediction out there. We will do a giveaway, being that this could be our potential last game of the season. So if anyone nails a score, man, we'll figure something out. I think I have a signed Sonny Jurgensen jersey, or I have something signed. Dev has an RG3 card. We'll give something away if someone nails this score prediction. So the spread right now is 9.5. The total is 55.5. That's what they're looking at right now. 55.5 total, 9.5 point favorites for the Lions. So, Jason, would you like to make a score prediction? Or if you don't make a score prediction,
yeah, you don't make a score prediction.
Any prediction. Up to you.
Any prediction. This game is within one score going into, like, I'll say the middle of the third quarter. It's still a one-score game at that point in the middle of the third quarter.
I believe it.
So it'll be a one-score game going into the fourth.
In
quarter.
the third quarter, there'll be a one-score game.
So you're thinking then the fourth quarter you're going to score like 50 points on us.
I'm thinking that we're going to force some mistakes, or if we're going to get up in one more score, and then we're going to give it to Montgomery and Gibbs and do what you guys do, and just we're not giving the ball back, and then we do that thing. So that's how I see this shaking out. But
okay, Jacob, what about you?
I'm going to say that the Lions are going to win the time of possession battle. We're going to have some long drives, try to keep it out of the hands of Jaden Daniels. I think they're going to win the time of possession, and hopefully that means they're going to win the game.
Okay. Jack Attack has 48-47. Wow. My gosh.
First off, great name, by the way. Jack Attack. Oh,
Jack Attack. Jack Attack was a short from the Incredibles. If you watch Disney,
Jack Attack. I did not, because I'm black.
Good movie, anyways, man. I don't care what you are. Watch The Incredibles. Jack.
What about Frozone?
Yeah, Samuel Jackson's in there. I know he was gonna say that. That's my guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I killed him, and I hope he burns in hell. They speak English in what? English, motherfucker. Do you speak it? This time, what Marcel is what? I got a bad motherfucking wallet too, by the way.
Ryan's got 37-34 Washington. Tia has 30-23. 30-23 Washington. So I'll flash Ryan's on here. He's got 37-34 Washington. Skins. A lot of people still say Skins. Tia 30-23 Commanders. Jim Sleazy 33-28. Man, everyone's going to Washington. Of course. Would you think anything else otherwise?
Not Steve, though. Not Steve.
Not me. Hey, I'm sticking with my score. Tim Callaway has 34-31 Washington. Marcus has 30-28 Washington. Sorry, just logging all these. 30-28.
You all
Washington.
are homers.
Yes, Todd's got 35-21 Commanders. Man, you guys.
You can't trust nothing Todd says, man.
All right, I'll go. I'm going 33-27 Detroit. I love what my boys are doing. I just think this is where we've had a lot of mistakes, and this is where I think the mistakes finally catch up to us. We've played a lot of mistakes ball, and we've had a lot of things just flow our way. I just don't think it happens this game. I think this is the division round of playoffs. This is against a 15-2 team. Those mistakes are going to be made, and you don't rebound from them. Like I don't think there's a way to recover against a team like the Lions. We haven't played.
We're motivated by the Capitol storming, dog. That's what we're motivated by.
January 6th.
That's our forest fire, bro. That's our Hurricane Katrina, bro. We gonna.
Dude, that was 4 years ago, bro. It was just so long.
Was it really?
We're about to.
We haven't won a title since the 50s. That's what we're going on.
There you go.
Yeah.
I need to quit watching The View when I'm drunk.
Todd has 5 touchdowns for Jaden. Holy smokes, that would be crazy. Dev, what's your score prediction, man?
34-27, good guys, or something like that. I just feel like we're gonna win, man. I feel like this is our time. I could be wrong, and I'm cool with being wrong because I think Detroit is very deserving to win a Super Bowl, man. I will root for Detroit when they beat us until they play Lamar. I always go for my Louisville guy. But other than that, I like Detroit, man. I like everything about them. I like the coaches. I like the personnel. I like the players. So it's going to be very hard to beat these guys, man. And honestly, we shouldn't. But I think we do. I think the matchup, if anyone left in these playoffs can beat Detroit, I think it's us. Anybody else, I don't really have faith in it because Ravens defense is trash juice up until like the last week or two. You know what I'm saying? If they get to the Super Bowl against them, I don't think they can score 40. I don't think there's a team in the NFL left that can score 40, but the Lions and us.
Well, the Bills did it versus the Lions.
The Bills in a worse division in football. They beat two winning teams, and one of them was the Chargers that no one really thinks is that good. So I think they're gonna get blown out the same day we play the Lions, dog. I think the Ravens are gonna beat the shit out of the Bills. They're a non-factor in my opinion, bro. They're a non.
No, I was saying the Bills beat the Lions already. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If they end up facing them again in the Super Bowl, they did.
Oh, yeah, we definitely beating the Lions in. You should have told me that. We definitely kicking the Lions' ass, bro. We beat Washington beats the Lions 60-2. Now,
going to Ryan's comment on the game where Jared threw 5 interceptions. I think it was the Texans game.
Mm-hmm.
What was that all about? How did that come about?
I know he threw it to the team wearing the opposite color.
We won the game, which is the crazy part of it. So, like, there's a couple, like, weird ones that the ball gets tipped and they catch it. But then Jared was throwing it in harm's way and doing non-Jared Goff, at least not recent Jared Goff things.
Yeah.
And the fact that we were still in, I mean, CJ Stroud threw 2 picks in that game, one in the end zone, which they were about to score. The guy was wide open, and CJ Stroud threw a floater, and Carlton Davis just ran underneath it and took it. So he doesn't throw those. They don't give us those chances. We don't win, but it was one of those games and went down to the last kick, and you know how those go. Ours didn't hit the post like your last game did.
Doink.
It just skimmed it. It was just like, it was
what happened,
as close as you can get.
What happened in the Bills game? How'd y'all keep by them guys?
So Bills game, we did not have Alex Anzalone, who is, I'm counting on being able to shut Jaden Daniels down, not shut him down, but be able to keep up with him and just, it won't be a spy, but he'll have a lot of responsibility to keep Jaden Daniels in the pocket. We did not have that. And it was, we were scoring enough and we turned the ball over once. And like you said, Dev, if you guys get a turnover, that's what it could take. That's your stop, and you stopped us from scoring. And then if you guys were to score on that could be a big difference of the game. And that's Amon-Ra uncharacteristically fumbled in that game midfield, gave the Bills an extra possession, and they turned it into points. We just could not stop them. But, frankly, we scored 42 points. They couldn't do much stopping us either.
Right. That's the kind of game I'm predicting this one to be, that somebody's just going to make a mistake, and that's my hopes anyway. It's not us. It could be us, but and historically this year we played a lot of mistake-free football, you know what I'm saying? But the times we have made mistakes, we lost.
Thomas Powers, but the Washington versus Rams next week, we might be playing in Arizona. Listen, there's something.
No, we'll get a home court advantage if we play the Rams, right? We get a home field advantage.
No, Rams won their division.
No, Rams won their division.
The only way was if the Packers won all the way out and we won all the way out. That was the only scenario where we would have a playoff game in DC. That's done. That was the only way.
We'll win every game away then. Let's go with a rookie quarterback.
I think it's been done, but I think the Giants did it, if I'm not mistaken.
I think the Giants, Russ did it too, right? Seattle. Did they beat us at home? Were we at home that time?
Yeah, that was when RG3 tore his ACL.
He was like 17-6, dog, and then he tore his leg and we lost. That's trash.
Straight up. All right, guys. I think we're gonna end up. This is kind of the end of the formal part of the show. We made our predictions. We were on your show yesterday. You're on our show today. We want to say thank you very much for taking the time out of your day to join us and talk some ball. It's going to be a good game. Kickoff's at 8:00 on Saturday. Do you guys have any crazy plans? Like Jason and Jacob. Jason first. What are your plans to watch? How are you going to watch this game? Like, are you going to go somewhere? Are you going to get something to eat? Like, what is your plan to watch this game?
I'm going to be in section 222. I'll be at the game.
You're there.
I will be there. I have season tickets, so I'm there with my wife and my 2 boys. And so
how much would it take for you to sell your tickets?
well, I could make quite a bit right now if I want to sell them. I wouldn't sell them. This is too much fun, and I can't. If we get past you guys, there's no way I'm selling the next one too, because this is the way. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, I had season tickets for about 13, 14 years, and we got to see a home playoff game. It was just never selling in years. You just can't beat that. So good on you for doing that. I know a couple guys who left today. They're driving to Detroit because plane tickets are just stupid right now. So we got a small contingent. These games are a little more expensive than the Tampa game, so I don't know as many people going to Detroit. But I got a handful, at least 9 or 10 people that I know personally going. So we'll see how it goes.
That's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, people on social media are posting it. They got the scratch like that, I guess. I don't know. Jacob, what about you, man? What's your plans to watch the game on Saturday?
I'll be at home. It'll be warm. I'll be at home watching with my kids.
Yeah.
I do not have season tickets.
Gonna take his wife over you, bro. That's messed up.
I know.
Jacob wouldn't go. I'm telling you right now, he wouldn't choose between his kids. I offered him 2 tickets to the Minnesota game, and it just didn't work out.
You build these memories with your kids, though. It's
exactly.
like when it comes last when we played
family
the
thing.
Yeah,
and I want to keep the season tickets and keep my wife happy is what's all about. But Jacob likes to be at home. He really likes that. And
that's fair.
Cool where you are.
Last Sunday, I let my kids. I have a 6, 8, and 10-year-old, all boys, and I let them stay up till midnight to watch this game. The next morning, we all were hurting for it. They were really hurting for it because they had school. But you know what? I would do it again. I would do it 10 times over that way. I don't ever let them stay up that late, but I let them stay up late that game. And we watched that doink herd around the world. It was great.
Yeah.
Another Lions fan jumping in the chat. The mistake is Washington even showing up from Michael Gagne. Look at that.
Oh man,
no, that's not good.
I like his image though. That's pretty blue.
Right.
Go graphic. I like it. Mufasa's a great movie. Go watch Mufasa.
No way, Mufasa's a good movie. By the way, why you speaking of Mufasa? Mufasa was the bad guy the whole time, and nobody even thought about that. This guy Scar saved his life 3 times. Even told him he liked the chick.
And he still casted him away.
Even liked the chick. Even told him he liked the chick right when they first met, man. And Mufasa still messed with her.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? At the end of and he's even got us disfigured for Mufasa.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mufasa's the bad guy, bro.
Scar got his revenge. All right, Dev. What are you doing for the game Saturday night?
Well, my nephew River is gonna be 3 or 4 or something like that. So I'm gonna go hang out with him during the day, and then I'm gonna watch some football. I'll probably get some wings or some spicy nuggets from Wendy's.
Yeah. Nuggets. I'll be at the same thing. Home with my family. We're gonna watch it. Get some pizza. We get Paisano's pizza for every game, and we just watch it. Watch it together as a family. We'll see how it goes. Best of luck. May the best team win, guys.
Absolutely.
And one final plug, guys. If you're watching this, please hit that like button on YouTube for us. The audio for this show will be out very shortly, so stay tuned for on Spotify audio, Spotify, Apple. Odyssey, iHeart, anywhere you get your audio podcast, you'll see it. Guys, where can we find you guys out in the socials and find your
OnlyFans?
So you can listen to our podcast, and these 2 guys were on it yesterday. Very good episode. I want to let you guys know you guys broke our record for most downloads in the first day today. So I haven't looked since we've been on.
3.
You guys hit it. So I appreciate that. Big playoffs. I'm sure the playoffs had a lot to do with it, but we really enjoyed having you guys on there. So anyways, you can get it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, pretty much anywhere you get your podcast. It does upload. The audio only uploads to YouTube. We'll sometimes cut stuff into shorts. We're gonna cut stuff up into shorts because Dev yesterday wore a Sonic shirt, which is Gibbs, Sonic and Knuckles. He didn't know. He's a closet Lions fan over there, and we had an inside agent on this deal there. Steve, sorry, you were 3-1, but no,
you're not supposed to wrap me out yet.
And Jacob, why don't you tell him about Twitter and stuff? You're better at the socials than I am.
Yeah, check us out on Twitter. It's Talking Grit Pod. We're also on Instagram, Facebook. Not as active on there as we'd like to be, but Twitter or X is definitely the best place to reach us. Yeah, I mean, give us a listen. Mostly Lions oriented, but we've got your Commanders guys on.
Yep. Fantastic. And like I said, give us about 15-20 minutes, guys, and all of their information will be down in the description of this video for the social media follows on X, and we'll put a link into their podcast. You guys can check it out as well. So, and
shout out to Phil too.
Shout out to Phil. You know what? Very quickly, I'm going to play his video. He wanted us to play it. I'll play it. He gives us a 1-minute spiel for his his prediction for the game.
Hold on, a little backstory. Phil's fiance has, for some reason, decided that taking a vacation during the playoffs was a good idea. Just to let you know what kind of woman he's hitching his wagon to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, who does that?
Yeah, I don't understand. That's a red flag, Phil. I mean,
we're just joking. They did beat that a long time ago. We just like giving Phil a bunch of shit. Who goes on a cruise during playoffs? But all right, here's Phil.
It's your boy Philly, and I'm reporting to you from the lovely island nation of Antigua aboard the Norwegian Breakaway cruise ship. Yeah, around where we were, right?
He's being quiet. You can see that because Phil is loud.
Look it up. Anyway, this weekend, our Commanders play the Detroit Lions, the number one team in the NFC. I do think we actually match up with them well. I think our pass defense is very good. Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be what we have to worry about on defense. When we're on offense, I think that we have to establish a better run game, balance out the pass game, keep the Lions defense on their toes. And yes, just like I say all the time, ball control is important, not just the run game, but the short pass game as well. The short passing game is what did it against the Buccaneers. By the way, I told you all De'Ami Brown was going to have a big game.
Now he claims it.
Anyway.
He hates De'Ami Brown.
I do believe that we are going to have to call the season here. I think the Lions just have a little too much firepower, but we are going to make it a game. And I do think that the final score is going to be Detroit 33, Washington 27. It's going to be a one-score game.
That's what I have too.
But in the end, I think that Detroit just has too much firepower. But if Washington pulls it out, hey, don't be surprised. They do match up pretty well with the Lions. But in the end, Detroit 33, Washington 27. It's been a hell of a season. We just playing with house money right now, baby. Let it ride.
There it is.
Nice.
So I think Phil and I kind of have the same idea.
Y'all both are wrong.
You know what? I want to be wrong. Let me be wrong all day.
Hey, can I ask you guys a question real quick?
Absolutely.
Do you like the term house money? Like,
no.
Is that like offensive to you? That like, no,
hey, that's almost racist. It's like when people say speak so well, you know.
You know why I don't care? Because it's year one of a rebuild. Like you're.
It was okay week 8.
No,
it was okay. We was at 8 wins.
And it is house money because you know what? Like I said, we have the most cap space in the NFL. It's year one of a rebuild. 70% roster turnover. We aren't supposed to be here. Yes, I understand we are here. We have a lot of great players. The season did not turn out how many people thought. So, yeah, I'll be sad if we win, but I'm going to be ecstatic regardless of what happens. Like, I could not be prouder of these guys. For 12 and 13 wins in the year one of a rebuild.
I'm going to say fuck them if they lose. No, I was joking. I'm not going to do that.
We heard, Jacob and I just heard the term a lot last year when we got to the NFC Championship game.
For the Lions?
Yeah, just like, that's house money. You won we hadn't won a playoff game in 30 years. We won our first playoff game. We won our second one.
Supposed to be. No, last year was your first year of the resurgence, though. Never mind. Yeah. I don't think a lot of people picked you guys to be as good as you were last year.
Well, I think they thought that the pressure was going to be too much for the Lions. They haven't been in that spot. But, and Dan Campbell said today that San Francisco had, they kept their composure in the NFC Championship game, made the plays, and the Lions didn't. And we're hoping that the Lions learn from that. Yep. We'll see.
Hey, the chat wants you guys to come back on Monday.
Yeah, we invited them.
You guys are down. We'd love to have you back Monday for a post game. Regardless of what happens, we'd love to have you guys talk back. We can just talk about the game, see what happened. I think we'll be mad or you'll be mad, and maybe it'll be a good time. Anyway. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us, man. Really appreciate you guys, and may the best team win. And hopefully we'll see you guys next week and in the future. Glad we're building this relationship. So we'll see you guys.
For the record, I don't want the best team to win. I want us to win. I don't care if y'all play better than us.
It goes both ways. The best team will win.
I don't care if we don't deserve it. I don't care if we get a messed up call on y'all's behalf. I don't care if golf gets stigmata on the way to the game. I just want to win.
By any means necessary. Nancy Kerrigan style.
Yeah. I don't care. If we got to send Ryan Kerrigan by with
All right, guys. We're going to get on out of here. Thank you for tuning in. We'll talk to you guys. Good luck on Saturday. We'll see you guys later. Peace.
All right.
Stay on.